speaking of the campaign trail, you know who kind of gets it right now and had a really great report that RF Hartwell shares over on the Reddit subsection. Thank you for sharing this, RF Hartwell. Robert Reich. Robert Reich. Oh, wait, it started there. Hold up. All right, let's go over there. All right, so check this out. I really dug this. Robert Reich did a good job here. Let's talk about it. Here we go. Robert Reich.
Versus someone who has ideas. Well, this is pure nonsense. Beating Trump requires getting out the vote. And in order to get people to turn out and vote, a presidential candidate has to be inspiring, which means big ideas, a vision of an America that could become a reality if we all got behind it, a sense of where we need to be heading. That's rubbish. All the back who's a moderate and a candidate who's on the left.
All right, so right now he's talking about someone who's a moderate versus someone who's on the left. They're talking, people are saying, oh, we need a moderate or we need a lefty, and only a moderate can beat Trump. He's going to debunk that now. Here we go.
Well, that's rubbish. All the babble about moderate or left assumes we're back in the old politics where the central question was the size of government. But today, the real contest is between the people and the powerful. The vast majority of Americans versus an oligarchy that's amassed most of the nation's wealth and power. That small group of hugely wealthy and powerful people got a giant $2 trillion tax cut from Trump and his Republican enablers. And they want to pay for it by trashing Medicare, Social Security, Medicaid, and the Affordable Care Act. The oligarchy would rather we fight among ourselves for the scraps they have left behind than see what's really happening. Divide and conquer. Middle class against poor, white against black, native-born Americans against immigrants, Christian against Muslim. You see, that way, we don't see that they have been looting America. Trump's followers don't see he's really a tool of the oligarchy, doing their bidding, reorganizing America so they accumulate even more wealth and power. And as long as we fight among ourselves, we don't join together and reclaim our economy and our democracy. One final thing I've been hearing is that we should go back to the way it was before Trump. That's baloney.
Nice.
The way it was before Trump brought us Trump.
Yes.
The way it was before Trump was an economy rigged for the benefit of the few, stagnant wages, socialism for the rich, and harsh capitalism for everyone else, a healthcare system whose co-payments and deductibles were out of control and still didn't cover 30 million Americans, and big money controlling our politics. No, we don't want to go back to the way it was before Trump. We have got to go forward. So don't accept false choices about who's electable versus who has ideas, who's moderate versus who's on the left, or whether we need to go back to the way it was before Trump. In reality, what's going to beat Trump are new ideas that mobilize America, that let Americans see what the wealthy and powerful who bankroll Trump have done to this nation and get us looking forward to what America should be, rather than backward to an America that was never as good as it could be.
I think he nails it. I think that's pretty good. Now, I like Robert Reich overall. I agree with the vast majority of what he says. I think this video is great. I think it highlights a lot of great points, and I love the drawings. My one criticism is a criticism I always have of him. I think sometimes he doesn't go far enough when he looks at the Democrat side, and I think that a lot of those corporate Democrats, they're tools of the oligarchy too. And really, you know, the choice is kind of obvious that we can't have another status quo politician. He's acknowledging that. But he kind of like, oh, you know, it's not moderate versus left. That they want to divide us like that. No. The point is that if we have more status quo, it's not going to beat Trump and it's not going to help us. So an Amy Klobuchar is not going to beat Trump. A Beto O'Rourke is not going to beat Trump. A Joe Biden is not going to beat Trump, which he acknowledges in the thing there. He has Joe Biden holding an ice cream cone. He's kind of subtly acknowledging Joe Biden's not going to beat Trump. And he's absolutely right here. Centrists will not win in 2020. But what we need is, I like the way he frames it. We need actual ideas. I think that's right on. But, my thing is like these moderates, quote unquote, they're not going to win. They're just not going to win, which he he acknowledges that, but I think he skates around it a little tiny bit. Because, yeah, the status quo, we live in a non-status quo time. Whenever it came to the surface that a lot of that, or maybe not a lot, but some Trump supporters, I think like 20% or something like that, a lot of them said Bernie was their second choice. People made it out like that was a horrible thing for Bernie Sanders. Like the way the media reacted was they were like, see, Bernie's divisive and this and that. No. What that told you was that there were a lot of people who voted for Trump, not because they liked Trump or they thought he was a good guy, but because they thought he was some outsider who was going to break up the Washington status quo. Because they took a chance, because they had 8 years of Obama, their lives didn't get better. Their lives didn't get better under Bush. Their lives didn't get better under Clinton. Their lives didn't get better under Bush the first, Reagan. You get the idea. And they were tired of our status quo politics that has just been rising neoliberalism since 1980. Trump was singing a different tune. It was all lies. It was all phony, but he was singing a different tune. So they thought, let's take the chance on this guy. He's not a status quo politician. Let's take a chance on him. He seems like a total jerk because he is. But man, we can't take any more of the status quo. So they rolled the dice on Trump. And now they should realize that everything he said was a total lie. He's not governing like an outsider at all. He's continuing the war machine as usual. He's didn't do anything for the working class like he said he would. Didn't do anything for healthcare like he said he would. Hasn't governed like a non-interventionist. Surrounded himself with more warmongers just like everyone else. Surrounded his cabinet, with these same execs as everyone else. So a lot of people connected with Bernie Sanders for that same reason, that he's not the status quo, that he was offering something different. So a lot of people in the general in 2016, they took a chance on a fake populist. So a real populist could win. That's what that statistic's telling you, that some Trump supporters, their second choice was Bernie Sanders. That's telling you that people are tired of the status quo. And people want a reinvestment into the working class. People want to be able to go to see a doctor when they're sick. They want to be able to send their kids to college without going into crippling amounts of debt. They want to make a fair wage for their work. People want all those things. And the richest country in the world should be able to provide that many times over. So I think Robert Reich nails it here. I think it's a pretty solid video. The only thing I would add to it is that, some of these corrupt Democrats, they're part of the status quo too. And they're part of the oligarchy too. It's not just the Republicans. It's both.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and make it our own. Get your